Hi guys, it's Beth and welcome back to my channel. So as part of my Christmas in July, I used up another Flavor of the Month card kit in an older kit. This one was from October 2017 and it was called Merry and Bright. And so it had some paper collections in there from American Crafts, Echo Park, Lawn Fawn, and Simple Stories. So it was very fun to work with. And I will show you what all I made. So before I get into the cards, I have been on a kick lately of making like little nail file holders. And so these will fit kind of like the thicker emery boards, which I did end up finding some on Amazon that should be here soon. So hopefully, if those work out, I can share that with you guys. Because I haven't been able to find the thicker ones at Dollar Tree in a long time. So anyway, I made 3 of the nail file holders, and these use like more than half of a 6x6. And then I just took I took the little otter image from one of the stamp sets and colored him up, fussy cut him out, and then put him on one of the label punches from Stampin' Up, like an old Stampin' Up punch. So I made 3 of those. And then another kick I've been on lately is making these little double pocket Ghirardelli square like chocolate holders, or tea bags fit in here as well. These are just such a great use for 6x6 paper. So, and I've been using, this is the second kit I used this month. So I've made quite a few of these, and I liked the double-sided paper. They look really good. So anyway, I just took some of the paper and then used some of the ephemera that came in with this particular collection. Holiday Fun was a longer strip, so I just cut it into 2 and layered it on there. And then on all of them, I did add some Christmas ribbon or a ribbon of some sort, and then a little bow. This one was just like a fancy label that I cut down and added to it. And then this one, I used one of the little cut-aparts, actually 2 cut-aparts. This one was double because I had this one left I hadn't used yet, and so I just decided to stick it on the back of this one. So this did come, it's winter, 'tis the season to be freezing, but not just Christmas themed. And then I also made some tags. These were some of the cut-aparts from the I Love Christmas, was it? No, the Winter Wonderland by Simple Stories. And I just turned them into tag shaped. So like, do you want to build a snowman? And then I did add like this brown strip of wood grain paper that I had left. This one I took some of the word cut aparts that I had left and just added them onto like this journaling tag. Or it was like a journal card, and then, added my tag, angles at the top, punched a hole, and then I liked this on the back so that somebody could, write a message. And then this last one, some people are worth melting for. Again, just added my tag angles at the top, and this one had already had this, Up to Snow Good on there as a fishtail banner, and so I just took another strip of paper that I had and added it as a fishtail here. Just trying to use up some scraps as well. And then I had a whole bunch of strips left. Some of them were from the tops of the papers. And so this is a combination of a couple different collections. But I just took those strips and took a piece of cardstock, added my glue down, and just laid the strips at an angle across. And I wasn't worried about width or size. I was just trying to make them all fit. And then this was an ephemera piece from the Echo Park I Love Christmas collection. So I just added that to embellish the front, and then there's just another strip on the back to decorate. Again, this one I just rounded all the corners. This one I did add the angles at the top to give it that tag shape and rounded the bottom corners. And then this Merry Christmas was from one of the stamp sets. It's the one with the otter. And then there were 3 of these like felt stockings that are popped up on foam. And so I just added those to this one. And that one has a little bitty scrap left. And for the cards, So this first one, and these kind of are all mixed up with the collections. I didn't necessarily keep them together. This first one, it's a diagonal fold card. And I just decided to try something a little different for once. And so I, trimmed it down diagonally this way and then tried to trim my paper to fit on those triangle portions. I added a strip across and, separated it so that it, it looks like it goes all the way across, but it's separated into two pieces. And then this is just an ephemera piece from the, was it the American Crafts collection? And then on the inside, I just put some scrap strips. This one doesn't have a sketch. I was just trying to use up some of the paper that I had left and some of the ephemera. So this sled was a piece of ephemera. This was Happy Holidays, was a cut apart from the I Love Christmas collection. And then just took some different scrap pieces and layered them on there to help build the front. So there are several of these, and they've gotten out of order. But this was from the... There were a couple different collections that had these, the little cut aparts. So they're like, 1 by 2, something like that. And so I just decided to add them to some cardstock and leave enough space so that it looked like a frame, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to make enough cards to use these all individually. So I just tried to group them. Like, here's the ones that are all like that aqua color. And so I just grouped those together and added a red cardstock frame or background to them. And this one was the khaki ones. And in each case, there were only like 3 of each. And so this is a piece of pattern paper that I trimmed down to be the same size. And on this one, I used a piece of that green polka dot paper and trimmed it down to be the same size. And used one of the ephemera pieces from the kit just to fill in down here. This one was from the Winter Wonderland collection from Simple Stories, and so same thing, but I didn't add the cardstock frame around it. I just used a pattern paper frame, like a double card mat. And then again, here's ones with a Christmas. There were 3 that kind of fit with like the Santa or the North Polish type theme, and then just added another piece of pattern paper that I had cut down to size. And then here's a couple where I was just trying to use up some of the strips and scraps that I had left. So I just layered a couple of the strips and then added this thin, this was actually the top of one of the papers, like the tear strip. And then I had an ephemera piece left, and then I think I had trimmed this out of one of the other tear strips as well. So just using the Noel as my sentiment there. Here was just using a couple of the pattern papers, and I used the Merry Christmas stickers that came in the kit. Took a circle punch and cut down a couple of circles of the red pattern paper, and then the snowflake was an ephemera piece. On this one, I pieced 2 pieces together, like this green diagonal stripe and then the snowman on the wood grain, or the wood grain pattern. And then the kit had some gold and silver acrylic words. And so this one I just used joy and put it on a square to be my sentiment. This one's pretty simple, just took a rectangle of that kind of wood grain paper, backed it on some white cardstock, and then just took some of the green pattern paper, and like this was the back side of one of the other patterns, and then just took another set of the Merry Christmas stickers and used that as my sentiment. So this is the same thing, similar to the one I just showed you, but in this case I used the piece, it's another one of the acrylic words, as my sentiment, and then added, this was the leftover of a cut apart that was already rounded, and so it's the back side, and I just added it like as a little tab, a reverse tab on here, just to give that top part a little something. Here was just using some of the little pieces I had left in that Winter Wonderland collection from Simple Stories. So there's 2 different cut-aparts, and actually 3 different cut-aparts. I think this is the back side of one. And then a random red strip that I had. And then these 2, I based it off of the sketch number 4 that came on the sketch sheet with this month's kit. And it's Paper Play Sketches number 21. And I thought it would be a great way to use up like some of the cut-aparts that came in the I Love Christmas collection, but the cut-aparts were a little too wide, and I didn't lay this out before I started cutting everything out and matting it. And I only wanted to use one of the cut-aparts, the horizontal cut-aparts, because they had like sentiments on them. And so I wanted that to be the focal point. So I took pattern paper and cut them down to be the same size, matted them all in black. Well, when I went to lay them out on my pattern strip here, they were too wide. And so I just decided to layer them and stagger them. And I think it actually looks pretty good. So then I took a small circle punch of this little doodle swirl red pattern here and punched some little circles and added those as the circle elements up in the top right. So, you know, sometimes you start with a sketch just for an idea on how to use the sized paper that you have left. Sometimes it's just a jumping point and it ends up looking totally different. So here's one where I was trying to use up some of the pieces that I had left from the Nitpicky collection from Lawn Fawn. And so I had some squares left, but I just decided to be different and punch them into circles. I went ahead and stamped the otter. And I know I've used this stamp before on some of them, but it's actually this stamp set from Lawn Fawn, Winter Otter. And so I stamped the otter and then decided I wanted to also use the Have an Otterly Merry Christmas sentiment. So I stamped Merry Christmas down here and it could fit Otterly, and then wanted to have it overlap. And then, I mean, it didn't turn out as well as I hoped, but this one was just using up a strip I had left and then decided to use that big Christmas acrylic word. So this one is pieced together with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pieces. And I actually pieced it together before I ever glued it on the card front because I didn't have card fronts with me at the time, or the card base rather. And so I was trying to, this was very delicately held together before I got it on my card base. So this is 2 cut aparts. And then I had to cover the gap here with just a strip of pattern paper that I had left. And then there's 3 other strips that kind of frame it out to form a card mat. Kind of interesting use of the pieces I had left there. This is Sweet Sunday sketch number 206. And wanted to use this was my favorite stamp set in the kit. So stamp the otter and Have an Otterly Merry Christmas, and then cut that out on a big stitched circle. And then this is paper from the Lawn Fawn, the Nitpicky collection from Lawn Fawn as well. And then this is Sweet Sunday sketch number 201. And again, it uses that same circle element and just layers some of the papers differently behind it. And then my last set of cards are Operation Right Home, sketch number 88, I think is what it says. And was just using some of the different size pieces I had. And this, in the sketch, this is 2 different pieces, but I just made it one long strip. But then again, used my Have an Otterly Merry Christmas sentiment. So all in all, from this kit, I ended up getting, I didn't count the cards, 3 of the little double pocket chocolate or tea holders, 3 nail file holders, 5 tags, and 15, 16, 17, 20, 21 cards. 21 A2 size cards. And then I do have some pieces left. There were a few little strips or scraps that I had left from the I Love Christmas collection from Echo Park, which I saved because I'm actually been working on the 12 by 12 collection of that. So I figured I can always throw these in with those scraps and see what I can do. And then I have the little Merry Christmas word stickers, some of the enamel dots, and some sequins left, as well as all of the stamp sets that came in this kit as well. So a lot of fun, and I used this up in about a week's time. I did this while we were camping. This was my camper craft project. It was nice because I could pull it out and work on a little bit at a time, and it wasn't a whole lot to put away. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I used up this kit. If you have any questions, let me know. Sketches will be linked in the description box below. And thanks so much for your time today, guys, and I hope you're having a crafty day.